Ladies and gentlemen, what if you could wake up every day with a clear sense of purpose, knowing exactly who you are and where you're headed? The truth is, you have the power to transform your life step by step and create the best version of yourself. Becoming your best self isn't about waiting for the perfect moment or relying on luck. It's about taking control of your mindset, your habits, and your choices every day. In this video, I'll show you how to make simple, powerful changes that will have a massive impact on your life. If you're ready to take the first step toward becoming the person you've always wanted to be, keep watching. The transformation starts now. Waking up one day and realizing the only thing standing between you and the life you want, not luck, not talent, not timing, just the daily choices you make. While most people are distracted, doubting themselves, or daydreaming, a select few are quietly putting in the work, consistently, without needing approval. That's the real difference. It's not about how smart you are or the chances you get. It's about mindset. It's about self-leadership. It's about taking action even when no one's watching. This isn't just another motivational speech. It's a challenge to break out of autopilot and take ownership of your future. The version of you that you want to become isn't far away. That person is just on the other side of your habits, discipline, and the decisions you start making right now. Too often, people spend their lives waiting for motivation, for the perfect timing, or for someone to show them the way. But what if everything you need to become your best self is already within you? You don't need permission, you don't need luck, you don't need ideal conditions. What you do need is the right mindset, steady routines, and the discipline to follow through. The truth is, success isn't something you stumble upon, it's something you build. Confidence isn't something you're simply born with, it's something you grow. Discipline isn't some natural gift either. It's more like a muscle, something you strengthen with consistent effort. The difference between people who fulfill their potential and those who stay stuck comes down to one thing: the decision to build the best version of yourself instead of waiting for life to shape it for you. If you're tired of feeling stuck, done with excuses, and ready to make a real change, you're in the right place. Today, I'll guide you through the exact steps to create and become the best version of yourself, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Stick with me for the next few minutes as we dive into powerful principles to help you unlock your full potential and take control of your future. Let's begin with step one: reprogram your mind. Everything you do, every decision, every habit comes down to one thing: your self-identity. Who you believe you are shapes what you believe you're capable of. If you see yourself as lazy, unmotivated, or not capable, your actions will match that image. But if you shift your self-image to someone who is strong, focused, and capable, everything begins to shift. Your identity works like mental software running in the background. It affects your decisions, reactions, and what you believe is possible. The good news, like software, it can be upgraded. Science confirms the brain is neuroplastic. It can be rewired through new experiences and repeated thoughts. The words you say, the beliefs you affirm, and the thoughts you choose. These form the neural patterns that shape your world. So the first step to becoming your best self is to clearly define who that person is. If you don't shape your identity intentionally, it will be shaped for you by your past, by society, or by other people's expectations. Don't let outdated beliefs dictate your future. Instead, craft an identity statement that reflects who you're becoming. For example, don't say, "I have no discipline." Say, "I'm building more discipline every day." Don't say, "I'm not a morning person." Say this instead: "I wake up early because I value my time." The language you use matters. It programs your mind. Repeating empowering affirmations, visualizing your ideal self, and creating identity-based habits are proven ways to reshape how you think. Imagine walking into a room with confidence, speaking with clarity, moving with intention, owning your presence. If your goal is productivity, visualize yourself working with focus, finishing tasks efficiently, and enjoying the process. But identity isn't just a mindset. It's built through consistent action. Your brain believes what you repeatedly do. If you want to see yourself as disciplined, show it through small daily habits. Wake up 5 minutes earlier, read a single page, move your body for a few minutes. These small wins signal to your brain, "This is who I am now." Over time, these habits stack into real, lasting change. Most people try to change by relying on willpower alone, forcing new behaviors. But sustainable change starts with reshaping your identity. Don't just try to eat healthy. Become someone who prioritizes well-being. Don't just try to work harder. Become someone who values discipline. When your identity shifts, your behavior naturally follows. The key is consistency. Each morning, remind yourself of who you're becoming. Throughout your day, take actions that align with that version of yourself. The more you reinforce this, the faster it becomes your reality. Start by writing a clear identity statement. Describe the person you're becoming. Read it every morning. Take small actions that reflect it. Your mind is the starting point. Rewire it and your best self will follow. Leadership is often misunderstood. Many assume it's just for executives, managers, or public figures, but real leadership starts with leading yourself. Before you can lead others, you must lead your own actions with clarity, discipline, and purpose. Strong leaders don't just give instructions, they lead by example. Becoming your best self starts with holding yourself accountable for your thoughts, habits, and decisions. Self-leadership means no more blaming, no more waiting for someone else to take charge. It's realizing no one is coming to rescue you. Your transformation begins the moment you decide to lead yourself. The main difference between people who grow and those who stay stuck isn't talent or luck. It's discipline. Discipline means doing what's required, even when it's inconvenient. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you strengthen your self-trust. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you reinforce doubt. This is where many struggle. They set goals, fail to follow through, and start believing they can't change. To lead yourself effectively, you need clear, non-negotiable standards. Set values that guide your actions, especially when it's hard. If you value integrity, live by it even when no one's watching. If discipline is important to you, remain consistent, especially when motivation fades. A major mistake is relying only on willpower. Willpower weakens over time, but identity-based choices and supportive systems lead to lasting transformation. Don't say, I'll try to be disciplined. Say, I am a disciplined person. Rather than fight off distractions, design your environment to support focus. Another crucial part of self-leadership is emotional control. Life throws challenges, stress, setbacks, criticism. Your success depends on how you respond. Most people react out of emotion, anger, fear, frustration, but true leaders pause, stay aware of their feelings, and respond with clarity. When you feel overwhelmed, take a breath and ask, what would the best version of me do right now? Respond thoughtfully, not impulsively. That's how you take back control. Apply the 80/20 rule. 20% of your actions create 80% of your results. Most people waste time on low-impact activities, scrolling, binge-watching, unnecessary conversations. Focus on the few actions that drive real growth: reading, learning, exercising, and doing deep, meaningful work. Top performers don't do more. They do what matters most. Self-leadership means prioritizing wisely and protecting your time like your most valuable asset. Because it is. Look at your habits. If they're not aligned with the future you want, change them. Wake up earlier. Move daily. Read things that challenge your thinking. Surround yourself with people who push you to grow. Your environment shapes your behavior more than you think. Spend time with unmotivated people and you'll absorb their mindset. Surround yourself with ambitious, growth-focused individuals and their energy will elevate you. Your circle shapes your path. At the core of self-leadership is one powerful idea: be your own role model. Imagine watching your life like a movie. Would you admire the character on screen? If not, change the story. Stop waiting to feel motivated. Lead yourself with purpose. When you embody traits like discipline, confidence, and resilience, you won't need outside validation. You'll earn your own respect. Starting today, take full ownership of your growth. Define your values, eliminate distractions, commit to high-impact habits. When challenges arise, don't reach for excuses, look for solutions. Make self-leadership your daily standard, and you won't just improve, you'll become unstoppable. Success isn't random, it follows a predictable pattern. People who reach their goals aren't always the most talented or smartest. What sets them apart is how well they apply the law of averages. This principle applies across all areas: career, fitness, relationships, and personal development. In simple terms, the more effort you put in, the more chances you create. The more you learn and refine, the greater your chances of success. Most people don't fail from lack of talent, they quit too soon. They try something a few times, face rejection, and decide they're not cut out for it. But high achievers understand failure isn't final, it's part of the journey. According to the law of averages, if you repeat something enough, a pattern of results will emerge. Take sales, for example. A beginner might close one sale for every 10 attempts. Keep at it, and eventually they close another. Over time, with experience, their success rate improves. This applies to job applications, relationships, skills, almost anything. Your first few tries might not go well, but if you keep going, your odds improve. The mistake most make is taking rejection personally, but it's not personal, it's statistical. Rejection, failure, and setbacks are part of the numbers game. When you embrace that, failure loses its power. You begin using it to learn and grow. Success is less about perfection and more about repetition and consistency. Top performers aren't flawless. They just take more action. They show up more. They try more. They produce more. While others hesitate or overthink, they stay in motion. Fear of failure, of judgment, holds many people back. But every expert started as a beginner. They made mistakes, learned, and kept moving. They didn't wait for the perfect opportunity. They created it by showing up repeatedly. If you want better results, increase your effort. Facing 10 rejections, try 100. Not getting results yet? Practice more. The law of averages rewards those who stay in the game. Consistency allows your efforts to come. Here's the other side of the principle. Both failure and success are predictable. Once you understand this, you can optimize your actions. Analyze your outcomes, track what's working. If something succeeds, ask why. Was your energy different? Did your strategy shift? Were you clearer in your communication? Those who succeed most aren't just working hard, they're learning quickly. They treat failure as feedback. They adapt, adjust, and improve with each attempt. Growth doesn't come from avoiding mistakes. It comes from extracting lessons and applying them. That's why some people seem to attract success. They're not lucky, they just take more swings, apply for more jobs, start more projects, reach out more often. If one attempt doesn't work, they try again and again because they understand the truth. Success isn't just possible, it's inevitable if you stay consistent, learn from your efforts, and keep showing up. The more you put yourself out there, the greater your chances of achieving success. Many people underestimate just how much effort is required to move beyond average results. They try a few times, hit roadblocks, and then quit, often unaware that they were only a few more attempts away from a breakthrough. If you genuinely believe that every rejection was bringing you one step closer to your goal, would failure still stop you? Would you let challenges define you, or would you keep pushing forward, knowing that persistence eventually leads to success? The only true failure is quitting too early. Starting today, reframe your mindset around setbacks. View them as stepping stones. Keep track of your efforts, analyze your results, and refine your approach. If you're not getting the outcomes you want, increase your input. When progress feels slow, amplify your actions, double or even triple them. The law of averages always rewards persistence. Stop waiting, stop doubting, and start doing more. The longer you stay in the game, the less it becomes a question of if and more a matter of when success arrives. Your environment has more influence on your development than you might think. Every day, the people you engage with, the places you spend time in, and the media you consume are either moving you closer to your potential or pulling you away from it. Many assume that success is solely based on motivation or willpower, but in truth, your surroundings significantly shape your habits, mindset, and personal growth. If you find it hard to stay focused, consistent, or productive, don't immediately blame a lack of discipline. Start by evaluating your environment. People often don't realize how much their surroundings influence them. Studies show that we tend to reflect the behaviors of those around us. Spend time with individuals who avoid challenges, focus on negativity, or lack ambition, and you'll likely adopt similar patterns. But surround yourself with focused, goal-driven people, and their habits will begin to rub off on you. This is the basis of the 5-person rule. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Ask yourself, do the people around you push you to improve or keep you stuck? If they're not supporting your growth, it may be time to limit their influence and connect with those who elevate your potential. Your physical space also matters. A messy, disorganized environment often reflects and contributes to a cluttered mind. If your workspace is full of distractions, it's harder to focus. If your home prioritizes comfort over growth, you may fall into passive routines. High performers are intentional about their surroundings. They create spaces where good habits are easy to maintain and bad ones are harder to fall into. For example, if you want to read more, keep books visible and accessible. If healthy eating is your goal, stock your kitchen with nutritious food and remove junk. If productivity matters, eliminate distractions and create a dedicated workspace that signals it's time to work. Small environmental tweaks can lead to big behavioral changes over time. Your digital environment is just as important. The content you consume each day influences your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Spending hours scrolling social media, comparing yourself to others, or absorbing negative news can slowly damage your mindset. But if you curate your digital space, following motivational accounts, tuning into educational podcasts, and engaging with positive communities, you're feeding your mind the right fuel. The goal is to be intentional with what you allow into your mental space. If you want a mindset geared toward success, immerse yourself in supportive environments and content. Top performers don't rely solely on discipline. They set up their lives so that success is built into their routine. They eliminate distractions, optimize their physical and digital environments, and stay around people who challenge them to grow. The good news, you can do the same. You don't need endless willpower, just an environment that makes the right choices, the easy ones. If you're serious about becoming your best self, examine your surroundings. Remove what holds you back, whether it's negative influences, disorder, poor habits, or unproductive content, and replace them with what energizes and uplifts you. Time is the one resource you can never get back. Energy determines how effectively you use it. Many people waste both, caught in distractions, fatigue, and poor time management. They say they lack time, but it's usually a matter of misplaced priorities and inefficient energy use. Successful people don't have more hours in the day. They just manage time and energy better. They rely on structure, routines, and focus. If you want to operate at your best, you must learn to master both. Start by tracking where your time actually goes. Many think they're busy, but they're just unfocused. Hours vanish through aimless scrolling, unimportant conversations, or ineffective multitasking. Without tracking, time slips by unnoticed. The solution? Be deliberate. Every hour is either a step toward your goals or a loss to distraction. The key difference between average and exceptional results lies in how your time is spent, especially on high-impact activities that drive meaningful progress. Your life reflects your habits. Your health, finances, relationships, and mindset all trace back to the small actions you repeat daily, yet most people aim for massive changes and instant results. Real transformation, however, happens through consistent small improvements over time. Becoming your best self isn't about working harder. It's about creating the right habits that make growth automatic. Many struggle because they rely on motivation, which is unreliable. They also set goals that are too extreme to sustain, leading to frustration and burnout. The real solution lies in small, consistent steps, keystone habits. Simple actions that trigger positive changes across other areas are especially powerful. Exercise is one example. When you commit to regular workouts, you naturally start eating better, sleeping more, and feeling more confident. Another is journaling, which enhances clarity, emotional awareness, and decision-making. Waking up early is another, as it gives you a head start and greater control over your day. Focus on identifying your personal keystone habit, the one small shift that creates a ripple effect, and make it your foundation. Many fail because they aim too high at the start. They try to work out for an hour daily or read a whole book in a weekend. Start smaller. Use the 2-minute rule. Begin with a version of the habit that takes 2 minutes or less. 5 push-ups, 1 page, 1 deep breath. It's not about intensity, it's about consistency. Once the habit is formed, it naturally grows. Another effective strategy is habit stacking, linking a new habit to one you already do. Drink coffee every morning, read a page while you sip, brush your teeth at night, follow it with a quick gratitude list. Stacking habits makes them easier to remember and repeat. Starting is only the first step. You need to stick with it until it becomes part of your identity. Use habit tracking. Mark each day you complete your habit. Seeing a streak builds momentum. The longer it continues, the harder it becomes to break. Missing once isn't a failure. Missing twice is where the pattern breaks. The rule, never miss twice. Finally, focus on identity. Lasting change happens when your habits align with who you see yourself as. Don't just plan to run, become a runner. Don't just eat well, be someone who values nutrition. When your habits match your self-image, they last. So instead of asking, what should I do? Ask, who am I becoming? Once you're clear on that, choose habits that reflect that identity. Keep them small, stack them, track them, and let them guide your transformation. Success isn't built in a single leap, but in 1,000 small wins repeated over time. Ideas mean nothing without action. No matter how detailed your plans or how inspiring your vision, they hold no value if they remain unused. What separates achievers from those who remain stuck isn't talent or luck. It's consistent execution. The world is full of people with good intentions who never follow through. They wait for the perfect moment, overthink every step, and let fear keep them from moving forward. But here's the truth. Execution is what separates dreamers from doers. Most people don't fail because they lack knowledge. They fail because they overcomplicate the process. They believe they need the perfect plan before taking the first step. That mindset creates paralysis by analysis. They overthink, hesitate, and never move forward. High performers operate differently. They understand that imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. They take the first step even when things aren't crystal clear because they know clarity comes through movement. Progress is powered by momentum, And momentum begins the moment you take action. One of the biggest traps people fall into is waiting for motivation. They think they need to feel inspired to get started. But motivation is unreliable. It fluctuates with your mood, environment, and energy levels. If you only act when you feel like it, consistency will always be out of reach. True success isn't fueled by motivation, it's driven by discipline. And discipline thrives on simplicity. The fewer decisions you need to make, the easier it is to stay consistent. If every day you're asking yourself, should I work on my goals today? You're creating unnecessary friction. But when action becomes automatic, like brushing your teeth, you stop overthinking and just follow through. When your habits are aligned with your identity and routine, execution becomes effortless. Remember, the hardest part of any task is getting started. Once you do, momentum takes over and finishing becomes easier than you think. To improve execution, eliminate distractions. In today's world, most people don't suffer from a lack of willpower, they suffer from a lack of focus. Notifications, endless scrolling, and constant entertainment steal time and mental clarity. The solution? Design an environment where action becomes the default. Silence the noise. Create time blocks for deep work. Focus on one task at a time. Multitasking is a myth. Single tasking is where real productivity lives. With focused attention, you can accomplish more in a few hours than most people do in an entire day. Overwhelm is another killer of execution. That's why breaking big goals into micro actions is key. Large goals, like writing a book, launching a business, or getting in shape, can feel intimidating. But when you break them into small, doable steps, they become manageable. Instead of saying, I need to write a book, say, I'll write one paragraph today. Instead of, I need to get in shape, say, I'll do a 10-minute workout. Small wins, repeated daily, build unstoppable momentum. Accountability also fuels execution. When your goals stay private, it's easy to make excuses. But when you share your goals, track your progress, or involve others, you create pressure to stay consistent. This is why elite athletes, entrepreneurs, and professionals often work with coaches, mentors, or accountability partners. They use external support systems to stay on track. Setting deadlines and taking responsibility sharpens your focus and commitment. Finally, high achievers cultivate a bias for action. They don't sit and overanalyze. They make decisions, take steps, and adjust along the way. They understand that failure is part of the process. It's not something to fear, but something to learn from. They're not afraid to fail publicly. They're not afraid to make mistakes because they know what's truly dangerous isn't imperfection, it's inaction. If you want to become your best self, you must train yourself to act even when it's uncomfortable. Don't wait for the stars to align. Don't overthink. Don't delay. Take the smallest step toward your goal right now. Because once you get moving, everything begins to shift. You become more confident, more capable, more consistent. Not because things were perfect, but because you had the courage to begin. How you carry yourself shapes not only how others perceive you, but also how you see yourself. Becoming your best self is not about reaching perfection. It's about continuous growth. One of the most common misconceptions in personal development is the idea that there's a final goal to achieve. People often think that once they reach a certain level of success or discipline, their journey ends. But personal development is a lifelong process. The most successful and fulfilled individuals don't stop growing after a few months or years. They commit to improving themselves for life. To become truly unstoppable, embrace the idea that growth never ends. The key to lasting success is maintaining momentum. Most people start strong but lose motivation when progress slows. They expect quick results, and when those don't come, they give up. What they don't understand is that success builds like a snowball. In the beginning, progress may feel slow, but with consistency, results compound and breakthroughs happen. The people who accomplish great things aren't the ones who avoid struggles. They're the ones who keep going even when it gets hard. They push forward when no one's watching, when there's no immediate reward, and when everything in them wants to quit, but they don't. Another characteristic of unstoppable people is adaptability. No matter how well you plan, life will present challenges. Things won't always go as expected. If you hold on to rigid plans or demand perfect outcomes, frustration will follow. True strength lies in flexibility. The strongest people don't resist change, they embrace it. They see challenges as opportunities, failures as lessons, and setbacks as redirection. When life shifts, they adjust and keep moving forward. Being unstoppable also means managing your emotions. Many people only take action when they feel good and stop when they're tired, discouraged, or afraid. But emotions are temporary. They shift based on your environment, energy, or thoughts. If you let your emotions guide your actions, you'll always be inconsistent. The most powerful individuals push through regardless of doubt, fear, or frustration. They've trained themselves to follow through, and through discipline, they gain control. Resilience is another key to being unstoppable. Life will test you. You will face failure, criticism, and rejection. The question isn't whether these will happen, it's how you'll respond. Will you let adversity stop you, or will you use it to grow stronger? The people who build extraordinary lives aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who kept going through the hardest parts, turning every setback into motivation. Every no pushed them closer to a breakthrough. The secret to resilience is remembering that pain is temporary, but quitting is permanent. Every obstacle is shaping you into a stronger, wiser version of yourself. Finally, to become truly unstoppable, you must develop unwavering self-belief. Most people wait for approval, basing their worth on others' opinions. But those who reach the top don't need permission. They trust themselves, value their instincts, and don't waste time doubting. They know belief is a choice. And when you choose to believe in yourself, everything starts to change. Opportunities appear. People notice, progress accelerates, confidence replaces hesitation, self-doubt has derailed more dreams than failure ever could. So let go of doubt and decide you are capable, worthy, and ready for more. Becoming your best self is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong commitment. It's waking up every day and choosing to grow. It's making decisions based on your highest potential, not your current emotions. It's about building mental strength, physical resilience, and inner clarity. If you've made it this far, you now have the tools, mindset, and knowledge to take full control of your future. But tools alone aren't enough. The real question is, what will you do now? Will you let this knowledge fade, or will you take action? Will you wait for the perfect moment, or will you create one? The decision is yours. 6 months or a year from now, you'll look back and realize this was the turning point. The day you stopped making excuses, the day you chose to become unstoppable. Your best self is not something you find, it's something you build. It's time to build it. No more waiting, no more hesitation, no more holding back. Step forward, take action, become who you were meant to be. If you've made it this far, something in you is ready to stop waiting and start building. Remember, your future isn't something you stumble upon. It's something you create through action, discipline, and relentless belief in what's possible. The truth is, your best self isn't something you'll find. It's something you create. It's not about waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, or the perfect circumstances. It's about taking action one step at a time to build the life and person you've always wanted to be. The power to change is already within you, and now it's time to take control and unlock that potential. Are you ready to start your transformation today? If so, don't wait another moment. Watch this video and discover how simple steps can lead to a life you're proud of, a life where you're living at your fullest potential. The journey to your best self begins right now. So don't let this video be just another source of inspiration. Let it be the spark that ignites real change. Subscribe for more tools, mindset shifts, and strategies to help you become the strongest version of yourself.